Hello,
Hello,
Radhe Radhe everyone. Mhm. Hello,
hello.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Now
Yes.
you are audible.
I think what you do, Darshan Bhaiya, continue live the session. Even if I get disconnected, continue with the slides.
Okay. Mm, So let us begin with the prayer. Uh, Anyone who wants to read the prayer? Shitalji,
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Darshan ji.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe Ganesh ji.
Interested in chanting, I
Om,
can do that. Yeah.
yeah. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Okay, great. Thank you, Shitalji. Radhe Radhe. So, as usual, let's quickly look at session overview, what we will be doing today. Today, again, we will quickly look at the book overview where we are standing on our journey. We will quickly also look at the recap, what we had studied last time and what was the assignment. Then we will jump into book reading as usual. But today we will be continuing with what we had read last time. Last time we did not complete the Karma Yoga section of the chapter. So it is page number 134 to 137. And then we will look at Swamiji's video on time availability, and we will end the session with something to practice. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Right. So what did we cover last time? Last time, no. So we have already completed 3 chapters and we are on the 4th chapter, the mind to read the 10th section of this chapter, Karma Yuga, the art of working in divine consciousness. Let's move to the next chapter. What did we learn last time? Last time, in Karma Yoga section, yoga for good health as a beauty aid or for weight loss, but they are unaware of the spiritual depth of science of yoga. So the yoga has transformed into yoga, and people are just focusing on the physical exercise part of it, but the physical exercise, we understood that in the last session. And asanas are only the third limb of the individual soul with supreme soul. So this is what we have to practice. We understood Ashtanga Yoga, which has 7 more limbs, as you can see on the left side image: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. The third limb is Asan, which talks about postures. Then we also learned Yoga means union of the individual soul with Supreme Soul. Thus, the ultimate goal of yoga exists when the mind is absorbed in loving remembrance of God. When we are able to keep the mind in divine consciousness and continue doing our worldly duties alongside, that is Karma Yoga. So this is what we have to practice. We understood most of the time. What we do is we spend little bit of time doing puja at home, and after completing the puja, when we come out, we completely forget God, and we start indulging in same impure activities, same impure mindsets. That's what the next point mentions. Most people go about their daily chores with an impure mind, immersed in desire, attachment, greed, pride, and anxiety. In Karma Yoga, we do not divide our form becomes an offering to Him. And then we learned with Karma Yoga, our intentions rise above tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic states. These three gunas, which are material gunas, when we are in Karma Yoga, our intention rises beyond these three gunas and becomes gunatit, divinely pure. Then we finally learned the act of earning money can be spiritualized by thinking in this manner. My family members are all children of God and He has entrusted them to my care. Let me earn well so that I can take care of them, and whatever I can save, I will serve God and Guru with it. So this was one example of how we can spiritualize one of the activity that we do, that is earning money. How can we consecrate it? There are many more ways that we are going to learn today, continuing from where we stopped. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so last time we ended the class by saying let's generate various ideas on how we can connect our work, every work that we do to God. That's what is karma yoga. We have to attach our mind to God constantly. It should not be something that we do for a short period of time and then again go back and indulge in world throughout the day. It doesn't help. What Sri Krishna is asking us to do throughout Bhagavad Gita is to constantly remember Him. So anybody who tried generating karma yoga, please feel free to share. By sharing, we will all learn from each other. Anybody who is interested in sharing any ideas that you have tried and it is helping you, it is working for you, please feel free to raise your hand. We will unmute you. Okay, Riya ji has raised her hand. Let's give her chance.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Ganesh.
Radhe Radhe Riya
Um,
ji.
for me, remembering God constantly. Earlier, it was the case like whenever I get a trouble or I'm seeking for something deliberately. So at that time, God comes to my mind and the intensity was increasing in asking for what I was looking for from God. So now to constantly think of God and the mind, to fill my mind with the purity of the God consciousness, what I do is, so whatever the action that I'm doing this for Krishna. Every morning when I go for run, I'll have a target that I have to finish this much kilometer in this time. So there is a pain that while running, so I'll be thinking about God, that I'm running for you. So this I have made my mind that I'm doing this for Krishna. So when I'm doing it myself, I feel too good. And there are chances that it has gone out of, mine. This happens very frequent when I'm with somebody else. When I'm with
Mm,
family, when I'm with a friend circle, it's just like that it's gone. And then I feel like I I feel like when I'm with the God, I feel like I'm somewhere like I'm with the relative, and when I'm with the relatives or the friends, I feel like I'm going out of the track. I
mm,
feel that literally that anger, greed, and the enjoyment, or Krishna says, Swamiji says that you should not have enjoyment attitude, right?
mm,
So that mode is, I mean, I'm shifting to that mode that you're with the mode of enjoyment and you're grasping, you're gossiping, and I
mm,
could see that you're switching so many things, and the purification process, whatever that we are trying, it's
Mm,
easily coming back to you, so
right.
easily getting occupied again. So
Very
it's like now I need to consciously think that these I need to, I mean, I should
mm,
just make it just for the outer world, you make it available, but internally you have Krishna in mind. So
yeah.
what I do
Uh,
is I have niece and nephews. Every time I keep talking about the Krishna stories only. They are so
oh,
excited and they keep listening to me so nicely. So in that
mm,
way, I'm trying to bring more and more of Krishna in my mind. So this
okay.
really helps. Teaching to kids is a wonderful way to keep our mind. We feel somebody is. Uh, Maybe the colleagues or the same age group may not listen always, but the kids are
Yeah.
very curious about the Krishna kathas. I felt so good discussing
Okay,
these
great.
small stories with the kids. So
Yeah.
it
Great.
makes you happy a lot. Radhe Radhe.
Okay. Thank you, Riyaji. Radhe Radhe. Great, great. You have started practicing it and you are practicing it very well. So let's I mean, for everybody's awareness, this is a very important practice that we need to start doing. I think this is what is going to take us long way forward. We have to see how we can remember Lord at every moment. We have to start, like Swamiji mentions in his videos, we have to start by remembering him at least once in an hour while you are working in the office. See, there is a vacant chair somewhere. See that Sri Krishna is sitting there and observing you. Likewise, while you are walking at some corner, you see him. In this manner, when you will remember him for every hour, you will become conscious, you will come back, you will stop doing anything which is not right, and then slowly you reduce the duration also. So I think this is what we are going to learn how to do it, different ideas today. Let's move on. Let's move to the next. Yeah, so let's start reading the pages. Whoever wants to read, they can raise their hand. Okay, Riyaji again. Anybody else? Okay, Riyaji has spoken. So let's first give chance to Sheetalji, then we will come back to Riyaji again. Go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Ganeshi.
Radhe Radhe, Sheetalji.
Similarly, Similarly, eating is one activity we all have to do. It is also material work. We can make it an offering for the pleasure of God by thinking, this body is the vehicle with which I serve God. It must remain strong so that I can engage in bhakti with it. As a result, let me eat healthy food to take good care of my body. Alternatively, we can keep the following attitude while eating: I have offered this food to the Lord. He has eaten it and left his remnants for me to consume. It is now his prasad which has been touched by his lips. Let me eat it while remembering his grace and thereby enhance my devotion. It was along these lines that the great devotee Uddhav said to Sri Krishna, Tvayopabhukta Srat Gandhavasolanಕಾರ चर्कच्चितः उच्छिष्टभोजिनो दासस्तव मायां जयेम जयमहि. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.6.46. My Lord, I will eat the remnants of the food offered to you. I will offer all clothes and ornaments to you and wear them as your prasad. I will use the leftovers of the perfumes that you were worshipped with. In this way, by your mercy, I will overcome this Maya which is yours and is so difficult to conquer. Consider another example. Sleeping is considered a very routine activity, but the Karma Yogi consecrates it at the altar of his Lord with the sentiment, "My body is exhausted, I will sleep so that it gets refreshed. And then tomorrow again I can engage in bhakti." Alternatively, the Karma Yogi thinks, "I need to fulfill the physical requirement of the body to sleep. O Lord, please come in my dream and enhance my devotion by giving me your remembrance even in my sleep." Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Sheetalji. I think a few ideas that Swamiji is trying to share with us how to practice Karma Yoga, how to remember God in our routine activities as well. We eat food, and if we can make it a point that before we start consuming food, remember God once, that will consecrate the act of eating also. And by you will also be practicing Karma Yoga. Here, two examples he has given. First is, think that you are eating to take care of this body, so that with this body, which is supposed to be the vehicle for your spiritual journey, you can engage in bhakti. That is one attitude in which you can do this activity of eating. The second attitude is, you have offered this food to God, and God has accepted your offering. He tasted it, he ate it, and then he left something for you in the form of prasad, and then you are consuming it. Right? So if you can practice these kind of attitudes, definitely as soon as you bring these thoughts, the devotion will start happening in your heart, right? You will start feeling so devotional, and with those sentiments, when you start eating, the benefits will be multiplied. I think I was reading one Ayurveda book, and in that the author talks about the activity of eating. While eating, we have to mindfully eat. We have the mental state with which we are consuming the food also determines how the food is going to benefit you. We hear this saying, right? Jaisa man, the kind of food that you eat, that is how your mind becomes. But at the same time, apart from what you eat, how you are eating. Are you eating not at all looking at the food, just doing something else? It is a disrespect to the food that you are eating. Are you eating in a mental state, disturbed mental state? So that is how, I mean, it is going to go inside and work, right? So it is very important to correct your mental state, and this practice of Karma Yoga takes our mind to the highest state, that is devotion, and thereby, it multiplies the benefits that you get. And here again, one more example about a routine activity, that is sleeping. During sleeping also, you can think before sleeping, I'm sleeping to rejuvenate, refresh this body, so that I can again engage in bhakti. And then the other attitude, to remember him in dreams. This way, if we can practice all these routine activities, not just these, we are engaged in so many routine activities throughout the day, right? If we can start, it is just a matter of ideating, generating ideas for yourself. I mean, these are few ideas that Swamiji has given, but we have to think, like Riyaji shared already how she is trying to practice. We have to generate different ideas, and once we start doing that, once we start implementing it, things will change. I am practicing it in my life. I'm trying to uh, you know y- use even small things that happen, like even sneezing is something that happens, right? And we hear our elders doing this. When they sneeze, they take the name of Lord. The science behind is probably, you know practicing Karma Yoga. Remember, at least use everything that you do to take your mind back to God. Here, very nice example of from Srimad Bhagavatam. how Uddhavji said he will do every small act as an offering unto Shri Krishna, and that is how he will purify himself and he will cross Maya. So let's go ahead. Wants to go next? Okay, let's give chance to Riya ji.
Yeah. Radhe Radhe Ganeshi.
Radhe Radhe Riya ji.
In this way, every work becomes connected with the divine. Jagadguru Sri Kripalaji Maharaj explained that we should not even scratch ourselves for our pleasure. Rather, if we have to scratch, we should think Sri Krishna is standing in front of me and laughing at what I'm doing. All right, oh Lord, be amused and laugh while I scratch myself. Let us take another mundane activity, such as cleaning or sweeping the house. One sentiment of doing it could be, oh, how boring this is. My husband creates such a mess. My child turns his room into a pixie. But if we work with this outlook, it will remain a worldly chore and will not purify our mind. Instead, we can replace mundane thoughts with devotional sentiments. My soul beloved Lord Krishna will be coming to my home. Let me clean it well to make this abode fit for his dwelling. This sentiment will transform the same household work into service for the divine. That is exactly what Shabari, the tribal lady in the Ramayana, used to do. Daily she would wake up thinking, today Sri Ram will surely come to my home. Where should I make him sit? Is this place good? No, that place is better. Should I feed him this? No, I will feed him that. Immersing herself in such a sentiments was her devotion. Every day she would clean all the pathways to her hut and decorate her humble abode. The consequence was that Lord Ram came to her hut while he was going through the forest. When he did, she became so absorbed in loving devotion that she lost all sensibility. She tasted the berries to check if they were sour, and then fed the half eaten ones to Lord Ram. But God, who cares only for the love of the devotee, accepted those half eaten berries offered by Shabari with great relish and commented, I have never tasted anything as delicious as this. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Riya ji for reading. Wonderful thoughts, wonderful examples, isn't it? It feels so nice to read all those examples, read all those thoughts, how we can think about God, how we can take our mind to God. Kripaluji Maharaj mentioned about one example here, scratching here, and I was talking about sneezing in the last slide, right? Similar, when while scratching your head, also, if you can think of God, think that God is looking at you and He is feeling amused. We do a lot of funny, I mean, it may not seem so funny, but things which others would laugh at us, right? And we try to avoid those, even if Yeah, Radhe Radhe Darshan ji.
Radhe
Am I
Radhe.
audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, I lost connection again. Uh, yeah, so I think I was talking about these various examples, very nice examples, funny things that we
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya.
engage in can also be
Ganesh Bhaiya.
used to remember God. And that's what saints have been doing, Swamiji says. In the previous my
No, Bhaiya, your voice is breaking.
evening.
Yeah,
Okay. How is it now?
yeah, better.
Hello?
Hello, yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Okay. The internet is really playing today. Okay, let's I think move on to the next slide. Let's put it here.
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah.
Sheetalji has raised
Let's give
her.
chance to someone. Yeah.
Is it visible, Sheetalji?
Yes, it's visible, Darshanji. Yeah, thank you. The practice of Karm Yoga requires the fulfillment of one important condition, which is the constant remembrance of God. This is the one instruction that has been repeated and emphasized above all else in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjun's plea was, I wish to abdicate my professional duty. It is too disturbing and confusing. The response by Sri Krishna was, no, Arjun, do your duties in sublime awareness. Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yudhya Cha. Bhagavad Gita 8.7. Remember me at all times and continue to work. Jagatguru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj also emphasized constant remembrance in his teachings. Man hari mein tan jagat mein karm yog yahi jana. Bhakti Shatak verse 84. If the body is engaged in the world and the mind is in God, that is karm yoga. Saint Kabir taught the same principle in simple language. सुमिरन की सुधि यों करो ज्यों सुरभि सुता माही कहे कबीरा चरो चरत बिसरत कबहुंका nahi. Remember God as a cow remembers its calf. It grazes grass in the field all day but keeps its mind on the calf. But how can we constantly remember God while performing all our daily activities? Simply follow the easy technique explained next. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya.
Really apologies today. My internet is not
Bhaiya, you are not audible.
well. So
Okay, so Ganesh Bhaiya network is not well today, and I think we should move to the next slide.
hello,
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Bhaiya.
Radhe Radhe. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Just I wanted you to remember or emphasize on only two important points on this slide is one condition that we need uh, in practice of karma yoga, and that is constant remembrance of God. And throughout Bhagavad Gita, there are many shlokas, many shlokas which only emphasize this. In some one shloka is mentioned here, Sarveshu Kaleshu. Then there is another verse, Ananya Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Then there is another verse where Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. Like that, there are many verses where Sri Krishna is mentioning about remembering him every moment. And that's what we have to practice, and how is also emphasized here with the help of a very nice example, that cow while grazing, it keeps grazing, it's going throughout the field, but at the same time keeps remembering the calf. It's the very good example to remember. So like that, every saint, Shri Kripaluji Maharaj also has written in his Bhakti Shatak. Kabir has also has emphasized, every saint talks about how to practice karma yoga. Let's try to resolve after completing this session today that we will practice it, we will implement, because this is one of the mindsets that we want to install. Okay, let's go ahead. Here we are done with book reading for today, and we move to the next slide. In the next slide, just few announcements as usual. The tour continues, Swamiji's US tour continues, and he will be in San Jose. I think this is California, maybe. Uh, so he is available there 6th to 14th of this month, and should take whoever is staying nearby that location should take disadvantage and visit his life transformation sessions happening there. And I just wanted to emphasize about the Jagadguru Kripalu University that we have. This university will provide a complete holistic education for children, youth, and adults in rural areas. The university project will offer education and services that will uniquely blend spiritual sciences, human excellence, Vedic sciences, yoga, naturopathy. It will also center as part of continued education for helping set up micro enterprise Vipalu G Hospital, Vipalu Hospital Center with offer healthcare for underprivileged people, both modern allopathic and alternative medicine. These initiatives will provide free and subsidized healthcare services to rural areas. services include a super specialized hospital, lab, vision center, dental center, child health care, and many others. Specializes the ancient science of natural healing, yoga, physiotherapy, and various natural cures. So it's a great thing that is going to come. Swamiji is driving this tirelessly, working for this, nearing completion. I just wanted to request all of you to donate this wonderful initiative, and by donating to this project, you will receive through Pace also. There is a link here which is for my fundraiser page, but you can definitely visit the site and will be able to locate the different fundraiser pages. That let's quickly move on and watch the video. Darshanji, go ahead and you can share the. Not the link which is at the bottom is not updated in this slide. You can open the link that I shared separately.
Our mind will become free. And with that free mind, we will be able to put in our best efforts. And that ultimately is all that is in our hands. Focus on your efforts. Bring all your faculties to bear to put in your best. But leave the results in the hands of God. And this applies to every realm of your activity, including life transformation. Today, we shall talk about the benefits of detaching ourselves from the fruits of our efforts. This story is from the late 19th century. John Rockefeller was the chairman of the Standard Oil Corporation. On this day, he had a business decision to make. Goods of the Standard Oil Corporation were to be transported by railroad from Houston to Chicago. The question was whether to get them insured or not. Insurance would have cost $150. Rockefeller decided to save the money and send the goods uninsured. Once the train left Houston Station, he got the news that a storm had developed on the way. He now became anxious, and he decided to use his clout to his benefit. He approached the insurance corporation. They had closed their office for the day. Using his influence, he forced them to open it, and by midnight, he walked out with his insurance. Next morning, he got the news that the train had reached intact to Chicago. Rockefeller realized he had spent $150 in vain. This created so much of stress on him that till 2 in the afternoon, he was pacing up and down in his office room. That stress had its effects on his health, and the doctors warned him that if he continued this lifestyle, he would not live for more than 3 years longer. Rockefeller decided to make a lifestyle change. He established the Rockefeller Foundation, which did tremendous charity work around the world. This story is from the 19th century. Today, we are in the 21st century, when stress has become ubiquitous. It is also often called the executive disease because executives are more vulnerable to it. Now, what is the solution to stress? A number of remedies are touted for stress management, including yoga, tai chi, walking, swimming, etc. While all these are good, they do not strike at the root. And what is the root? Why does stress arise in us? When we are attached to the outcomes of our efforts, that attachment creates stress. A student once approached me and said, Swamiji, my final exam is 3 months away and I'm experiencing immense anxiety. I said, why is it so? Because you have to work so hard? He said, yes, Swamiji. I said, absolutely not. You can work from morning till night and you'll experience no tension. The cause of your anxiety is not hard work, but investment in the outcome. That is why the Bhagavad Gita gives us this wonderful philosophy. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Lord Krishna says, Arjun, put in your best efforts, but don't be attached to results. One lady came to me. She said, Swamiji, I'm extremely stressed. I said, why are you stressed? She said, my children are not doing so well. I said, what is your profession? She said, I'm a teacher. I said, how many children do you take care of in your class? She said, 40. I said, do you become stressed there? She said, no, I do well. Actually, I've been recognized by the state for being a good teacher. I said, you have the capacity to take care of 40 children without anxiety? And taking care of your own 2 children at home causes anxiety. What is the reason? Your attachment to the outcome. That is why if we can learn to detach ourselves from the results, our mind will become free. And with that free mind, we will be able to put in our best efforts. And that ultimately is all that is in our hands. Some people say, Swamiji, you are a renunciant. What do you know about the immensely competitive professional environment? If we are not attached to results, then we will lose our competitive edge. I say absolutely not. There's a surgeon. He is amongst the best surgeons in the city. He has conducted 5,000 surgeries till date. But his son has suffered an appendix burst and immediate surgery is required. He calls his friend, please come and do it. But you are an accomplished surgeon yourself. Why don't you operate on your child? No, I'm attached. I'll get nervous and not be able to function at my best. Business people know that it is attachment that leads to wrong decisions. Hence, the philosophy of work, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita thousands of years ago, is focus on your efforts. Bring all your faculties to bear to put in your best, but leave the results in the hands of God. The same philosophy applies to life transformation as well. The efforts are in your hands. Leave the results in the hands of God. We shall continue this journey tomorrow on the 9th day of our life transformation challenge.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Darshan Bhaiya. I'm not able to unmute myself because I was not the co-host. Yeah. So I think Darshan Bhaiya, you can read out the summary. I don't know how you had a short quiz also, right?
No, Bhaiya, these are question answer. And shall we keep it for next time so that if
Yeah,
I'm wrong, you will be able to guide it in better way.
sure. No problem. Let's complete the summary at least. We are anyway on time. Can you read out the summary? I might get disconnected. So it's better
Okay.
you can come.
Yeah, is it okay if I ask someone to read it? Anyone interested to read the quiz?
Yeah.
Summary?
Sure.
Riya ji?
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Summary. We can make eating an offering for the pleasure of God by thinking, this body is the vehicle with which I serve God. I must remain strong so that I can engage in bhakti with it. As a result, let me eat healthy food to take good care of my body. I have offered this food to the Lord. He has eaten it and left his remnants for me to consume. It's now his prasad which has been touched by his lips. Let me eat while remembering his grace and thereby enhance my devotion. We can make sleeping an offering for the pleasure of God by thinking, my body is exhausted. I will sleep so that it gets refreshed, and then tomorrow again I can engage in bhakti. I need to fulfill the physical requirement of the body to sleep. O Lord, please come in my dream and enhance my devotion by giving me your remembrance even in my sleep. We can make sweeping an offering for the pleasure of God by thinking, my soul beloved Lord Sri Krishna will be coming to my home. Let me clean it well to make this abode fit for his dwelling. The practice of Karma Yoga requires the fulfillment of one important condition. Wrote, Mana hari mein, tan jagat mein, karma yog yahi jam. Kabir said, yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, it's completed, Darshanti.
Okay.
I was audible, right?
Yeah, you were audible.
Yeah, thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Okay, so with that we have completed. We shall meet next week. Okay. Let's end the session now. Radhe Radhe everyone. Thanks for joining.